Welcome back to I Bought Toys Today, the podcast where two old friends celebrate the best part of the toy collecting hobby, telling each other what we bought. I'm John.
I'm Cohan.
And Cohan, I've got bad news.
What's that?
I bought toys today.
I have worse news. I did not buy toys today. I just bought a stand.
Well, stand in the place where you live. Now look west and view the crimes I have committed.
Well done.
To give you some context, last episode talked about the Shatterstar figure I had gotten in, the Night Thrasher figure I had gotten in, and what's happened since then
Is an
can only be
an incurable virus John has contracted.
no. It's curable. It's left my system, like a steak that's just taken a few days to work its way through. Since then, I've spent too much time on eBay, and have made some questionable choices, which we're going to explore today.
And I go ahead. Go ahead.
As you can see behind me, these are all the accumulated deliveries that have come to my home this week. So this is my eBay Hall of Shame.
And I literally bought a
Hold on. Let's wait. I want to wait for the laughter to die down from that Hall of Shame joke. That's probably good. Go ahead.
All I did was buy. I went to my comic book shop, bought my comic books, and I bought a stand that allows you, to like elevate a figure. It's got the little hook, and it's got some other things in it. So I manipulated just enough, and so I've got my Storm. She's kind of in the air with her lightning bolts, and it's able to make Nightcrawler stand on his own. But that's it. That's it. So I'm just going to sit back and either roll my eyes, laugh, cheer, critique, and just let John open those boxes. I'm along for the ride this week with my snake eyes glass.
That sounds like a
slancha.
That's a good snake eyes glass. That sounds like a perfectly reasonable amount of things for a human being to buy. I've been busier than that. So in this pile that I have going behind me, a couple of notes before we start Christmas in July here. Cohan had me go through right before we started filming and pop all the boxes open because he didn't want to sit through opening them while we're filming. What the difference is, I don't know. So they're open, but I haven't looked inside any of them yet. So, I mean, I know what I bought, and because a couple of them just arrived today, and since they were the last ones, they were a little easier to know, like, what they are. So there are one or two of them that I do know what at least should be in there. But we'll have fun pulling them out and seeing what I got and having me explain myself and the questionable decisions I've made.
And to be fair, I did not buy toys, but I did something I've only done once before with the Sergeant Slaughter action figure classified. I did pre-order 2 action figures or 2 things, but I am going to keep those quiet until they arrive. So that's it.
What a useful piece of information. Thank you.
I'm thinking of a number behind.
This is a family show. Stop it. This is a family show.
Oh God! Don't make this a decision. Just pick a box and go.
I was gonna say let's tear into it.
Yeah.
And we'll see what bad decisions I make. The other thing I want to say is this is all good stuff. I don't actually regret this. Like it is not a a mistake that is like going to damage me financially or anything. Like, it's fine. We're all having fun here. Should I have ordered all this stuff? Probably not. I have no idea what I'm going to do with any of this stuff, but it's good. Let's go.
All right, but don't do it a box at a time. Grab a stack and bring it over.
What am I going to do with a whole stack?
Put it by your feet so we're not, again, we want to, we've done 2-hour videos. Yeah,
this
there
isn't
you go.
A live stream. You know I can edit it, right?
Just listen to me. Come on.
What?
Exactly.
Did you say something I'm going to have to bleep again?
No, I said just listen to me. Come on.
Okay.
All right.
We'll start with this bad boy. This is a good one to start with. It's
Okay.
Storm. This is the X-Men Robot Fighters Storm, a line that came out in '97. I do actually, I think I have one of these. If not, I have some weird Xavier action figure that at least resembles this. But
What brand is that?
Oh, it's an old Toy Biz one.
Okay.
This is '97. These are still Toy Biz goodies. But I knew this figure existed and I've had my eye on it. If you notice, she looks quite different from the art on the box. There's two versions of this figure. One where she looks like that. The other where she looks like this with the sort of
Twilight tendrils.
What color hairstyle is that? With the very short cut, but then like the two very long tendrils coming down off of it. And this was Storm's look for a lot of the sort of mid to late '90s. It's the look she had during the Onslaught saga, which I have a big poster of right above the camera that nobody can see, so you just have to take my word for it. And it's honestly one of my favorite looks for Storm. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because it's the look she had during a lot of that era. So it's one that I'm very fond of, but it's one that is very much forgotten, even though she looked like this for a good long time, like half a decade or so. And this is, as far as I know, the only figure they've ever made that has this costume and this hairstyle. So I saw this at a very nice price and went, You can see, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up on the back, but the other version is the one pictured on the back there.
I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of interested in the actual price tag. Where's it from and how much was it?
Oh, I don't know. The KB one in the corner has been, the bottom of it has been torn off, so you can't actually see what it was.
But where's it from?
But originally a KB toy store pickup.
Okay, very good, very good.
Let's see if that will focus in. There you go. So that's a good one to start with. Good old Storm. Should we have like a nice round of applause after each of these? Just like a... Say the nice one. Thank you. Bubble wrap.
Yeah, see, and then on top of that, you want to open the boxes. No.
Next up, this is another Toy Biz banger from late in the century.
You're off.
This is
put it in front of your face. Okay, there we go.
Put it in front of your face. This one from 1998. They did a line of Secret Weapon Force figures, which are just all around yikes. But This is the Gambit version,
Hmm.
which you can't tell by looking at him, can you?
Nope.
But again, similar to the Storm one, um, this is a sort of unique outfit from a storyline, again, about 97, 98, in the 340s, 350s, when a group of X-Men of like Gambit, Gambit, Rogue, Beast, a couple others. Like this is when like Joseph and Cannonball were on the team, and they got picked up and went to space, spent some time in the Savage Land, and while they were going through space, fighting the Shi'ar again, they got this set of costumes. This is when Joe Madureira was doing the art, so these costumes just looked very cool. And even though they were temporary, that was just a very good and memorable run. It involves some of my favorite issues, um, and it's also a period that I think gets forgotten quite often. Um, and again, this is the only time that I know of that any of the outfits from that era have been featured in action figure form. So, I mean, Gambit, all the other Gambits I've had have been his like traditional early 90s outfit, like, trench coat, pink carapace, or whatever, his thing was, with the boots and the stick and all that good stuff. But this is a real neat sort of alternative look that was only around for um, a short amount of time. So it's cool that it got made into a figure, as weird and as goofy looking of a figure as it is. And this is just a weird line of figures in general. As you can see, they come with some sort of like secret weapon, or a power slammer, as this one's called, so that you can, I don't know, launch little Nerfy discs or something. Toy Biz did weird stuff. Like I think they were trying too hard.
Move on.
There's also a bonus secret weapon force sticker inside. Sticker. So that's Gambit. Do you have any questions so far?
No,
Should I keep
moving.
going?
We got lots of boxes, and you're talking. Again, if we can get this in under 3 hours, we're going to be happy people.
Oh, shush. Do you want to take a guess as to what this one is?
No, I have no idea.
It's the Rogue.
Ah, I sense a theme happening.
Because if I'm going to get the Gambit from when they were in space together, why wouldn't I get the Rogue from when they were in space together?
I don't disagree.
Rogue is the costume she wore.
Rogue is in my top 3 all-time favorite.
And this little storyline was one that was very important to their relationship. This was a storyline that ended with the revelation that Gambit had been involved in the mutant massacre. So it didn't end well for him. But this is the Rogue that went along with this, with a cool sort of reddish and yellow combination. Very different from her usual look. But next up, we got a Long Boy. This is the one that looks like it's in the roughest shape, box-wise. And it kind of is, but that's okay. I bought a big cable.
Yeah, you did.
Now, I talked about how I have the giant Shatterstar one of these already. And when this came up, like I've seen, there's only so many of these big guys. 10-inch tall, fully posable. This is one I've never seen before. Now I've seen cable before, but not this one, because this is a exclusively decorated for Venture, whatever that means. But as the deluxe edition, this is not like the normal one of these. This is some sort of, you know,
Like a chase.
different, yeah, like some chase recolored version. Um, because his usual one just looks like the big version of the first cable figure. And so when I saw that there was one that came in some sort of weird, almost like stealth armor version, um, and especially for the extremely acceptable price that I saw this thing at, I jumped at it. Because how neat is this guy?
Let me ask a silly question.
Okay, go ahead. Let's
It
see
has
if it's
nothing to do with
the
cable.
thing I was just thinking of.
Well. Also, price tag on the front, is it also a KB price tag?
No, the price tag is actually for Venture.
Huh. So
So I'm gonna have to Google whatever. You can also see like the plastic sort of windshield on this is loose and going all over the
yeah.
place. So maybe Venture is some sort of retailer that got an exclusive version of this. The price tag on it does say $9.99, and I will tell you, I paid less than that.
Oh well, very good.
So
um,
good for me.
no, and that's where I was headed. Um, for as many toy hunting videos I watch on YouTube, and collectors, whatever, so many people, and just like you did, you alluded to paying a price, but nobody likes to say what they paid. Is it because it's embarrassing, or they feel cheated? I'm I think last week when I showed my two my Luke Cage and my Captain America figures, I discussed how I'd seen them from anywhere from like $12 to $20, and I said I paid $10 a pop for them. I don't, people I think don't like to like advertise what they paid because they're embarrassed by it, or they feel they got ripped off. I don't care. Like if I want the toy, and I'm gonna buy the toy, I'm gonna buy the toy. And if I say like I got this Scarlet for $125, people are going, oh, you paid too much. Oh, you had a good. Who cares? I mean, it's our money. We're spending it on what we want to spend. Why are people so afraid to say I paid X amount for this?
You're worried I'm gonna take too long to look at toys, and you're gonna start this conversation.
Just throw,
I
I'm
I think
sitting
it's
here.
I think it's in our culture at least. I think talking anything about money is just something we're taught is awkward. Like people talking about their salaries and
Hmm.
you know, and I think it's just
I mean, I get
a
that, but
cultural thing.
again, like you
I think
just said,
for some, like especially like big time YouTubers, there might be like a business aspect to it.
maybe. But I mean, you just said that the original price tag was $9.99. You're like, and I paid less. Well, why don't you tell us what you paid for it then? It was original price $10. What'd you pay?
I'd have to remember. I think I remember the exact price on all of these, like with like what it was plus shipping. Um, there's a couple that I will, but for like the individual figures, I don't know. I think I remember the like. This becomes an entire different game if I have to remember the if the price is right
I'm not.
on
I'm
all
not.
of
I'm
them,
not
and
saying you have
I
to.
have to match each one.
I'm not saying you have to do that, but you just said you paid less than the $10 it was paid for.
Mm-hmm.
So guesstimate. If you know you paid less, give me a guess.
I
Seven
think it was like
bucks,
$5.
$8. Oh well, there you go. That's all I need. That's all I need. I don't need. precise
Well,
estimates, but
I'll make you happy because the last one in this stack is this thing, and this is one of the ones that I know what's in here because it just got here today. And this contains the most expensive thing I bought out of all of these.
okay,
Are you ready?
yeah.
This should actually contain two figures. There's another envelope inside of it. And there's another envelope inside of this envelope. Okay, here we go. These were a couple of action figures that came out recently that I'm very interested in, but knew that acquiring them was going to be a pain in the butt because of how they were released. But when I found them, and especially at the like the prices that they were posted at individually and loose, um, like if I'd come across these at a show and like they were priced where they'd been at, that would be exactly what I was looking for. As you know, one of the sets of Marvel Legends that I like to collect are 90s X Factor. And there are a couple of teammates that I don't have yet to complete that grouping. And one of them is Random. Still has his little cardboard protectorate on his arm. And Random's a weird character. Because I don't know, it's been so long since I've gone back to read that run of X Factor to remember sort of how and why he came to even be on the team. And
Probably just random.
And it's honestly the only thing I think he's ever done. Like, he's barely been used by anyone since. And all he does is like he's got sort of a grayish skin tone, and his arms can turn into these weird guns. Those are guns.
Sun's out, guns out.
Yeah. And he just apparently just goes with the vest and no shirt look, which is a pretty good look if you could pull it off.
And gung ho.
Yeah. Now, do you remember?
Nope.
All right, then moving on. Now, do you remember how this character was released?
Literally, no. I don't even
Okay.
remember him at all.
Well,
But
he
again,
was released.
I didn't read X Force. I didn't read the X Force.
No, I mean the figure, not the character.
What's that?
I mean just the figure, not the character.
Oh God, no. Again, I wouldn't even know who he was if he held them
He
up.
was released as part of a 5-figure box set, which was very expensive and featured too many characters that I was just not like going to be interested in. There's really only one other figure in there that I was interested in. The main attraction of that box set was Strife. Yeah. And this is a good looking figure. Look at that stupid helmet. Can you imagine how much that probably weighs?
He just needs a stupid backpack to go with it.
Like it doesn't come off or anything. Like that's just his head. But the only way to get either of these would have been to buy a box set with 3 other figures that I did not want. That would have cost, I think it's like $125 for a whole
What
set.
were the other 3 figures?
Zero, which is okay. I don't mind Zero. I think it's Vertigo. The female, I think it's Vertigo. She's on the I think she's on either the Marauders or the Nasty Boys, and she like messes with your like. She gives you vertigo. And Pretty Boy.
Wow, what a bunch of D-listers.
Exactly. That's why I was excited to be able to pick up the A-listers individually.
I would not. I'd put Strife on the A list, maybe, but random, no way near any. No way near A list.
So, as the most popular figure from a box set that would have cost that much, let's play this game and think you know me. How much do you think I would feel comfortable, since that box set is the only place you could get this guy, getting him loose? What price do you think I would be comfortable throwing out?
30. $30.
That's pretty close. Got him for 40,
Okay.
which is
Yeah,
rev-
that's not bad at all.
no, especially for like figures you can't find on their own anyway.
Well, and that's like in a couple of years from now, I'm gonna have to find that kitty that came with the Excalibur package. I'm gonna have to re-get her because mine. We know that I think I ranted on a couple episodes ago about her head breaking off for no apparent reason.
I think that'll be possible though.
But yeah, I'd pay.
Um,
Yeah, but that's not bad. $40? No, that's not bad.
Now, especially for, like I said, a figure that you can't get on its own, and as the main attraction for that box set, like I was surprised to see him on there at
No,
all. Honestly,
is he complete?
oh yeah, like th- that's the other thing with these box sets. They're expensive. They've got a bunch of figures you don't want. There's no build a figure, and they come with very few accessories. Like, do you know what accessories random comes with? You're looking at them.
That gun. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's
Well, and
it.
again, but that was but
Like Strife comes with some fists. That's it.
and yeah, yeah, and I'm okay with that. That's it's I think the accessories are now overdone.
But like
Um,
it's Strife. Have him come with just like a regular helmetless head. Because the whole
yeah.
point of him was he pulls off this giant helmet and like, ooh, it's Cable under there.
Oh, I don't remember that at all.
Did you not read Executioner's Song?
I have it. In fact, in fact, you will have it soon when I give you all my old X Men comics. Um, I know it's in there, but when the hell was that? How many years ago?
I
There,
would guess about
yeah,
91.
yeah. So
So it
I
was
was
before Fatal Attractions.
a junior slash senior in high school at that time,
It's a good
and
because they've made a Strife previously um, that did a pretty good job, but like the helmet just wasn't quite right, and I guess there were some other details that just didn't hit exactly. But like this is Strife,
good.
and
I'm going to take a pause. I'm going to make a quick beverage.
he's gonna look real good up on my villain shelf. All right, so in the break, I brought the rest of the boxes over here. Um, we're about halfway
And
through. Do you have any comments or questions so far?
no,
Okay.
I nothing has surprised me, um, and nothing has appalled me. Like I feel the need to make fun of you, except maybe that Gambit figure. It's not very good, but everybody each their own, man. We look again. I'm wearing a
No,
Tito Santana T-shirt.
I have a lot of thoughts on Toy Biz in the late '90s. Like they made some weird and not great figures, but I love those just because they're from a very specific chunk of comics that is barely ever represented.
Yeah, and again, so yeah, I mean, I'd tease you about it off air, but never criticize you for your purchases.
Oh, this one has some good packaging.
That's what she said.
All right. Well, let's see if I can change your mind on everything you just said.
Uh oh.
Oh, that's pretty good. The first time I'm seeing these like up close too. Um, you may have noticed because it's been in every episode so far, that up here
Uh-oh. We're going Wildcats, aren't we?
I have my line of Wildcats figures, and they like I just have most of the main team. There's a few I'm missing. Like there's Spartan and Zealot and Warblade and Maul and Hellspawn. Um, and they didn't put out a lot of Wildcats figures. And I'm not interested yet in getting all of them. We'll see what happens. But when I stumbled upon this one, I thought it was just something worth picking up. And again, this was one of the first, we'll call them oopsies, that I did on eBay. So I don't remember exactly how much it cost, but enough that it was not an issue. Like little enough that like it did not bother me. So you see there, I have the regular Spartan figure. This is Spartan in his stealth suit.
Is it stealth because it's black?
Yes, it is. Easier to sneak
Never mind.
around
Go
in.
on.
So the regular Spartan suit, he has a sort of bluish, navy bluish top and white pants. This one's all black.
And now he's stealth because he put black on.
Yeah, he's harder to see, especially at nighttime. Other than that, this is the same figure.
It's just a repaint.
Yeah, it comes with the same accessories that are just painted different colors. Like he has one of the accessories he has is this his light refractive cyber web hand. On the regular one, the light refractive cyber web is red, but now it's blue because that's stealthier.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Not according to the red on his costume.
Well, you know,
it's probably a nod to the original figure, making it blue.
Yeah, you can't change everything.
No, you can. It just costs
But
money.
yeah, I just thought this was great. I don't need another Spartan. The regular one is an iconic enough look that I'm happy with it. But again, he might have been like $7 or something. I'm like, cool. Like it's like the same price as a cup of coffee, and it's gonna last me so much longer. Like why not? And Spartan being just as close to like a Cyclops ripoff as you can get without putting a visor on him was very good. I hope you're in the mood for more Wildcats.
It's got to be what's his face, the leader. I can't think of his name.
Spartan.
No, Grifter. I was thinking Grifter. Isn't that the one you were missing?
That's the one I was missing. Fun thing about
what is your connection to the Wildcats?
I was alive in the early '90s, basically.
So was I.
When everybody left Marvel, like Jim Lee and Liefeld and Pistachio and everybody, they hopped over to Image. Like it was a big thing. And I was still at an age where like I couldn't follow things really closely. Like I did not have access to like every comic I could have wanted. I was still getting comics at like the grocery store newsstand.
Yeah.
Because it was just an adorable period of history and you could still do stuff like that. But I knew Jim Lee because I had like every single cover of X-Men #1, and had Wizard magazines, and everyone knew Jim Lee was like the hottest and greatest artist of all time on the earth because it was 1993. So when he jumped ship and started Wildcats, um, like that was just like that was the thing. Um, like if you were maybe a little darker of a kid, like Spawn did it for you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but as
I did collect Spawn.
yeah, as an X-Men kid, like Wildcats is really X-Men-y. It
Well,
has a lot of similarities. You know, their backstory is quite different, but you
well,
know, it's got a lot of
along those
similarities.
lines.
And I also what I did have is one of the very cool issues I had, and God, this was fourth grade, maybe, I don't know. Was Grifter #1, and Grifter is just a, as '90s as a '90s character could get. Like he wears a trench coat, sleeves rolled up. Why not? Um, I still think it's cool that his face mask is just like a do rag. That's kind of creative. There's not a lot of those, as opposed to just like the traditional '90s headgear of that sort of head sock that Spartan and Cyclops and Gambit and Havoc and everyone else wore in the '90s. Um, so Grifter, out of the Wildcats, like Grifter was the cool one. He was like if you took Wolverine and Gambit and just smushed them together. So he was a very cool thing. I mean, the Wildcats was Jim Lee's thing, so it was a very big deal. Um, so it's just always held sort of a unique place. So I actually do have another team member because for a while now, I've had the void down here because, as you can tell just by looking there, I don't have room up there to add any more teammates. Um, so when I found her at a toy store, gosh, like maybe 4 months ago or whatever, um, and again, I think she was like $9 or something. Um, and I scooped her up, and she's just been hanging out, waiting for me to figure out how to redecorate the room. After I found her, there were only two team members left. I needed Grifter, which was proving very difficult to find. And if I'm guessing right, this box is the last member of the Wildcats, which a figure that did not come out in the first line of figures, even though she's an original member of the team, is Voodoo.
That would be like what they did with the D&D action figures from the movies. They put out the four, and then they pulled. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. The girl that transforms into the owl bear. They just put out her owl bear figure. They didn't put her out. Like
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
So she
Anyway,
came out in the second run. Like the original run is just those five and Grifter. Like it did not include, you know, it included Zealot, but not the other two female members of the team. Um, so
probably
my
marketing thing.
original plan was to just get the figures from the original run. Um, but once I started getting those, I was like, well, why don't I just get the entire team? And you can see there's a bunch more on the back here. They've got like more villains, more supporting cast members. Down at the bottom row is where they have like the variant versions, like Stealth Suit Spartan. Um, but I thought it weird that you know I would have most of the team, but not all of it. So made a point, and I found a posting for Voodoo that again was like $4.
Yeah,
And I mean, it
agreed.
was
That's
probably
when you
like
jump on it, man.
on top of that, it was probably like $7 of shipping. But even that combined
But
is like,
regardless, $11 for a figure like that at that time, yeah, that's a steal. And again,
right?
people, people like me might be like, well, they're never going to be worth anything. You don't buy them because they're going to be worth something. You buy them because you like them. Again, like this wall back here, I'm going to point to my classifieds, right? Some of them have gone down. Some of them have maintained the same, and it's going to be a number of years to see what's going to happen, whether they're going to rise or fall. But I'm not collecting the entire classified series. I'm collecting my favorites. You know, my favorite characters. And there's a couple. The unfortunate thing now, or fortunate maybe, is for Hasbro, is the ones coming out. There's a lot of my favorites in there. I mean, Lowlight and Shipwreck and Torpedo.
That
Even
low
though
light's a good looking figure.
oh god, he's one again probably if not top five, definitely top 10 of my all time favorite Joes. Lowlight's in there, and that of all the ones coming out, I'm like, that's the one I need to have. That one right there. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, and again, when you a couple weeks ago when I talked about, I bought that Scarlet and I think that Cobra Commander. I think it was Cobra Commander. Yeah, and I wasn't originally going to get them, but they were 12, $15, and I was like, okay, yoink. I think that Tiger Force for Kondo up there. I was not originally going to pick him up, but I saw him on sale too, and I was like, all right, scoop him up. And I like Rakondo. I like regular Rakondo better than Tiger Force Rakondo, but still. But I get it, man. Yeah, so $11 for a figure. I mean, that's
Well, I'm
that's
glad
great.
you brought up the topic of figures that are never going to be worth anything, because I know it's in this big box.
Uh-oh.
This is the most expensive thing that I bought overall.
So it's higher than 40? Okay.
And it's a good example of why all of this happened. Because I saw this on eBay and decided to save it to the items I wanted to keep an eye on. And a day later, the seller sent me an offer, and this was originally $60, but after I put it on my watch list, they sent me a special offer. They're like, would you buy it for $50? Yeah. And I went, yeah. So let's take a look. There's a lot of crinkly stuffing in here. Oh, it's so good. I tend to like some weird and obscure bits, especially in X-Men lore. Just look at the other X-Men stuff that I bought today. I got a Gambit and a Rogue from just a very, I don't want to call it a forgettable storyline. It was important and the art was fantastic. But it's very niche, very niche, and sort of obscure. It's not it's not their main look. So there was a time, when did these come out? 2001. God, they're almost brand new. There was a weird period of time. I think it was after, it would have been about 2000, 2001. So it was after Operation Zero Tolerance, where they flung my boy Havoc into an alternate dimension.
Oh, no.
And they gave him his own series called Mutant X, which for some reason got its own figure line. And I bought the whole line. It's only 4 figures, but you're never going to see these. And I can tell you that the price I paid per figure is so much lower than anything I saw in individual figure posts. Because what? 50 divided by 4. Do quick math.
I teach English for a reason.
Exactly. It's slightly more than $10 a figure. $12.50, something like that. But we have Havoc. Wait, that's a pretty good figure, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not a bad look. Um, it's a Havoc story, so for some reason, they've got to include Madeline Pryor, good old
Okay.
Goblin Queen. See if they put anything on the back to like differentiate that one from the regular one, but I don't think so. And and here is where it gets weird, because the other two included in this are a character called the Fallen, which is just Archangel, but in an even more demonic form.
Okay.
Um, like he has these sort of leathery bat wings and these. I mean, he just has regular hands as a figure, but he's supposed to have, like Sabretooth esque
Like claws.
claws. Yeah. Um, and just a much darker version of Archangel. And the last one is Bloodstorm, which is Storm, but vampire.
Nice.
Which is actually kind of nice because she does have like some connections to Dracula in the regular Marvel universe. Like they've crossed paths a couple times, and I think Dracula just was kind of interested in her, and like, I
Who
get it,
wouldn't be? Storm's gorgeous.
right? So this is Vampire Storm, and the cool thing is, okay, let's see if I can get it to focus on it a little better. I
The
probably
mohawk.
can't, but it's actually like that head is actually a really nice looking sculpt. Um, the jacket is is a soft goods jacket, and even though it's not complicated, like the paint job on that face is really good. Like the vampire teeth are really clean. The same thing with the Fallen. Like his wings look really good. Like they're kind of see through green. I think they even sort of get lighter as they go down. Like even the Havoc, as weird as Toy Biz was at the end of the century, um, like these are just a really solid set
Yeah, they're good. They're
of
good looking
figures.
figures. Yeah, and again, it goes back to the whole point of this channel is toys we buy and we like. You know, it doesn't
Like me,
matter. We're not buying them to hopefully someday retire on them. We're buying them because we love them and
yeah.
it's our passion. So yeah,
And these
it's a
are
good. That's a good haul.
like I actually don't know. Maybe I think I've seen this one at like one store, but I haven't seen these figures like at shows or anything. So when I saw someone had the whole lot of them, and when I tried my darndest to do the math in my head of what that broke down to individually, um, like I saw this storm going for like 30 something bucks a pop in
Oh
individual
wow.
posts. So I'm like, it's I'm paying a good chunk overall, like more than I would pay, more than I like dishing out at one time. Um, but to get like an obscure line of figures that I never see anywhere else, and I'll give them credit. This came out at a time where the X-Men books were not super good.
Yeah.
They'd really fallen off at this point, but Mutant X is kind of weirdly good for what it was. Like it was a fairly short-lived book that was better really than it had any business doing. Fun fact, they made a TV show. They made a Mutant X TV show. I don't think, if I remember correctly, like it Havoc wasn't in it. Like I think they made, I want to say they made like new characters for it or something. because it sure was licensing reasons or whatever. But there was a Mutant X TV show. Go Google that and feel bad that you looked at it. I don't think it was as I don't think it was as good as these figures. But just what a weird little line that sort of like the book like is really better than it should be. You got to get I'll send you a picture of Storm's face. Like that's just a well done figure. So it was just a really neat set that if the seller hadn't made me an offer, I don't know if I ever would have jumped on it. I might have just let it expire because even at $60 for a whole set, that's not terrible.
I was gonna say that's not bad at all. I would have jumped on
Like
that too.
That's fine, especially compared to like what they were being sold for individually, and
Mm-hmm.
like if I was just really hurting for a Havoc figure and saw him posted for $15, like that also would have been like fine. But to get the whole weird little line at a price that I thought was really nice, was really nice.
Yeah.
So I kind of like these little weirdos. But I have one box left, and I'm glad this ended up making its way to be the grand finale. I told you he was coming.
Omega Red. To me,
Thank you so much.
I was gonna say to me, that's underwhelming. The collection you just talked about, that should have been your grand finale.
Oh man, Shatterstar 3.
Oh, Shatterstar. He looks like Omega Red from here.
It does not look. What point to the red part?
It doesn't matter.
Purple.
He doesn't look like Shatterstar. He's normally in white. What's the price tag in the corner, please?
It is a KB Toys, originally $7.99, marked down to 3 for $10.
Oh no!
Let's see, it came out in '96. I have a lot of KBs that were marked down 3 to 10. Like I think that was a common thing for KB.
I think, and I've heard other vlogs say this as well. The price tag, the original price tag, is the even better story. It's just so good that he was. Excuse me. He was marked down 3 for $10, and you probably paid, $8 for him or whatever the case may be. And to me, that just tells the story of the history of toys, right? Like how oversaturated they were, but now you can just now something like that you could have gotten 3 of those guys for $10. You're probably paying at least $10
What's
for
cool
one
is
of
the
them.
card he comes with is actually him and Boomer. It's fallen out of its spot, but that's kind of fun. I like how it's at a point. Here's the thing. It's at a point in the line where whatever line that this figure came out with isn't even on the back. But look what is.
It's too small.
It's the old Toy Biz Age of Apocalypse figures, which I'm keeping my eyes out for. Didn't buy any of those on eBay. Could have.
How many are you going to unbox any of them? I'm assuming the Wildcats are not. Obviously, they're going to join your wall. I don't think you should unbox the Havoc figures you just showed. But other than that, are there anything you're going to open? Haven't decided.
Does that count?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Honestly.
And that's okay. I was just curious.
The problem. Like I have 4 more Wildcats I need to hang up. Where are they gonna go?
Move the cork board. I didn't say take it down. I just said move it.
That's the other. To where you can't see this side of the wall. This is where all the other figures are hanging up.
Wait. No. Just move it down. Keep it where it's at. Just move it down so you can put the Wildcats figures underneath the Wildcats figures.
I mean, that might work, except there is usually crap stacked on there. I just move it for when we film this.
And all this
Just
hanging
saying.
on the corkboard, a bunch of pictures. So if stuff hides it,
They're very
what difference
important
does it make?
pictures, though.
But you just said
It's
there's
it's
crime stack.
our autographed Dan Larson print, which checks
Mine's right
off
here within arm's reach, by the way.
which
Dan
checks the box for
Larson.
this episode's mention of Dan Larson, which we
Dan
are
Larson.
contractually obligated to do.
Yep.
It's got my
By the
Nuka
way, did
Girl
you see his
picture of
newest
my.
one? His newest video on oh, I
Good
just
job.
lost it.
That's my Cyclops sketch that I bought. The cool Captain America art. This is the map from that D&D campaign we never finished.
Wait, the map
it
I
would have been
drew?
a good campaign, huh?
The map I drew?
No, that's the one I drew. That thing's from a very long time ago. I don't even remember what your character was.
That's not the one you want us to build a town and do mining and stuff for, was it?
That's one where you and Roger were competing against each other in the Thieves Guild and decided not to compete with each other and to just totally help each other out.
That's not the night of but.
It was, but I was going to leave that out.
No one knows what we're talking about.
Because again, it's a family show.
No one knows what we're talking about. Okay, 2 other people would know what we're talking. Maybe 3.
So that's the thing. That's what I was saying. Like, these are all great, other than these guys, because I have room on the kind of room on the shelves for them. I don't know where I'm gonna put any of these things.
Oh, but
that's
know
what happens when you do eBay crime.
I know the problem, sir.
The time, and the time is spent figuring out what to do with them once you got
Your
them.
time is up. My time is now. You can't see me. My time is now. It's the franchise.
Nobody gets that reference.
Oh, lots of people will. You can't see me.
To be fair, I know where I'm putting Shatterstar because he goes right there with the other Shatterstars. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's a fun problem to have. And like I said, this room is going to be rearranged eventually when a certain item comes into my hands.
He's talking about the flag again.
I am. Every episode, I will mention the flag until I own a flag. And then when I get the flag,
Larson shows up at your home with a flag.
And then when I get the flag, every episode mentions that I own a flag.
Well,
good
bought
haul.
A bunch of stuff.
No, good haul. No, overall, great haul.
It's good.
And again,
and that's the thing. Like,
as much as I may roll my eyes, or like, why would you get that? It's not about me. It's about you and your passion. But it's a good haul.
I'm looking around at them as they are stacked from here all the way over to there currently, and looking around, and I'm not seeing anything that I'm like, I probably could have saved, probably could have not bought that one. I don't know.
No, it just makes you happy.
Yeah, it's all good stuff. Like, even
again, I can't tell you how many times
these weird things. Like, when else are you going to find a rogue in this costume? And especially, like, some of my favorite issues just happened to fall during this run. You know what kicked off this storyline? You'll love this. The beginning of this storyline to their time and space starts with a Christmas issue, and it is one of my all-time favorite issues of X-Men, in which Cannonball has a one-on-one fight with Gladiator. Which is I think just an issue they wrote specifically for me. But like, that Storm is great. The big Cable, I don't know where he's going, but it's so cool to have like a chase edition of one of those big ones. I love having all the Wildcats now. It's a good haul.
It is a good haul.
I'm gonna have to step away from eBay for a while, just for my own mental health. But I think the time I spent there, I'll remember fondly.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know about you, but there are several times a day. I mean, granted, I'm on summer furlough, um, but even when I'm not, like, I just walk into this room and just look at the stuff, and the stuff, whether it be the bobbleheads, the Star Wars, the Joes, the Marvels, the other miscellaneous things I have, and it just makes me smile. And that's what it's about. It doesn't matter what people think about Wildcats or GI Joe or Urkel over there. It doesn't matter. It if it makes you happy, you do it. You collect you, and that's the fun of it. And I mean, he and I will obviously tease and make fun of each other about certain things, and I think I'm a little more harsher than he is. Um, but when all is said and done, that's it. It's what you love, right? It's what makes you happy, and sometimes you find things you're not even thinking about. Like I will search for certain things, and something else pops up, like, ooh, that looks fun. Or like when I'm at a toy show, just wandering around, and like, when I picked up that Bantha, I forgot they made that, and
The
I was like,
Bantha was a good get.
yeah, that was I really dug it, and yeah, it might be newer, and it's got the stormtrooper who's like, you can't fix his legs because he's sitting astride the Bantha, but who cares?
Yeah, like my dog is asleep in the chair currently, but it's the same way. It's great to just sit there, you know, during the day and just enjoy like all the bits and pieces up on the shelf there. Like I'm gonna be really excited when like my X Factor team is now only a Quicksilver away from being complete.
Yeah, we
Um,
should probably call it a show.
yeah, I think I'm out of stuff to talk about. So finally, this is my hall of shame, um, of stuff that's all kind of cool.
No shame about it.
So maybe next episode we make it one where we talk about figures we already have instead of toys we bought. Because I don't know if I'm gonna buy anything next week.
Well, I've got some shells we can talk about.
Maybe I'll let my the steam fade off of my wallet for a while and just spend some time figuring out where I'm going to put all these things. What am I going to do with that giant cable?
Not my problem.
Well, we're rambling, so let's wrap this up so we can get out of here.
All right.
If you've made it through the entire haul, thanks for watching again.
God
Make
bless.
sure you subscribe, like the thing, leave if you've made it this far, tell us in the comments about a time where you spent maybe a little more than you should have at in one sitting, but that you still don't regret because it was actually kind of cool. And thanks for watching this episode of I Bought Toys Today. I'm John.
I'm Cohan.
And I bought too many toys today.
Who
Who knows what we'll do tomorrow? Probably figure out what to do with all the toys. Good night.
Good night.